Is the sealing a futuristic event? Is it something that we are to look forward to, or is it already in progress?
All right. So I think we have to understand it in context, and we must not think that this is a very strange thing that is happening when we talk about the sealing. I mean, the subject of the sealing is not a complicated one. When we look at the history of God's people, there has always been a sealing that takes place. So just to break it down, in Noah's time, those who accepted the message of Noah and entered the ark, they were sealed. So what seals is the truth. It's not just by virtue of you being an Adventist then you receive the seal. No. And that idea of saying, oh, once saved, always saved, does not exist. And I'm seeing that creeping in the church. So those who accepted the message of Noah got in the ark and they were sealed by the truth. When you come to the time of Christ, those who accepted the message of the Messiah, they were sealed. Now take note, when Christ came, there was an existing church, the Jewish church, which was led by God, by the way. But at the time Christ came, they did not expect him to come in that way. So even though the Sanhedrin, which is a general conference at the time, was in existence, Christ had brought a message to the people, to the Jews, to the house of Israel. Those who accepted his message in the very Jewish church, they received the seal after receiving God's message through his son. So my point being, you cannot leave the church. I've seen a lot of people say, I think 2 weeks ago we shared a video where we're talking about why the SDA church cannot be Babylon. And we expressed the view from selected messages that says that those who call the church Babylon are not sent by God. In other words, you don't leave the church and expect the seal, because the seal is happening in the church of God. That's why you and me, however bad the church becomes, Tinten and everyone else on the platform, however bad the church becomes, you don't leave the church in protest that you're going to some other church that is very much pure and that does not sin. You will still find other problems, but the only solemn thing that you will have missed on is that you will not receive the seal, because that sealing angel is passing through Israel, Jerusalem, and Israel is Seventh-day Adventist church. So therefore, when that angel comes to bring the seal is only placed on those who are serious people, studying the gospel, internalizing the truth. That's what it means, settling into the truth, both intellectually and spiritually. The intellectual faculty, your discerning faculty, you internalize the message and live the message. Not like a joker and like a serious peasant farmer, where you are just playing around without any serious business. The seal is a serious business, and it's unfortunate that we don't talk about it more often at church. If we even mention it, because the sealing of God always takes place in any dispensation, even in our time is taking place. Now, to answer you directly, how do you receive a seal? The pen of inspiration says you have to sigh and cry for the abominations that are done in the church. Just like Noah, he had to preach, he had to thunder his message. The only difference is that our message is directed to Israel because the sealing is taking place in Israel. You look at yourself, your spiritual declension, your departing from the standard of God, your digression from the sure word of prophecy, your playing around or your unseriousness. You look at your life. You don't look at other people. You look at your life and say, I've really departed, I'm not as I'm supposed to be. I'm not the Adventist that I'm supposed to be. And today, you know that, Adventists are different people from how they were known in the past. You understand? Last time I shared with you that I'm an umbilical cord SDA. In the 1990s, when I was growing up, SDA was, you could identify an Adventist when they are passing, how they dress, their demeanor, their deportment, their exposition, how they express themselves, what they eat, where they go, the places they go to. You would know. But that has been watered down. That's why the Lord is saying, for you to receive the seal, you have to come to that realization. The prodigal son realization. Coming to yourself that this is not the path the Lord would have me follow. Are we seeing that one? But it doesn't end there. You have to pray about your situation. But the crying part is when you actually share the gospel with other people. When you look at the evil that is happening in the world, you don't feel good that that is what is happening. You actually feel bad. In the morning, somebody was asking me that, now, this war that is happening, must we be happy? What should be our position? Should we be rejoicing and saying, yes, this war must happen, people should die? No. You behave like Jonah. His anxiety was that people should die because he had preached for 40 days and 40 nights. And when they didn't die, he went to God and said, I knew you were not going to destroy them. That's not what the Lord is telling us. What God is telling us is that our anxiety should be that we share the gospel, we enlighten the people of this impending judgment that is taking place in the church. And I don't want to miss my words. We are not doing that as a church, and that's where it becomes critical. The sealing, Tinteni, is happening with individuals. It's not happening as a corporate body, and it has never happened that way. God selects his people individually.